let's talk to the man himself, the voice of Countdown. Gavin, talk about pandemics. I haven't seen you since COVID came. It's gone. But I hope you're in rude health and really well. It's great to have you on the program.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Yes, I only caught COVID once in 2.5 years, so I feel very special. But I'd also like to say happy birthday last week. Now, I know back in our DJ days, I was just a couple of years older than you. So what did you turn, 52, 53?
Yeah, no, 21 for the third time, and third time's a charm is the way I'm looking at it, Gavin. It's pretty simple.
Well, we've just got to enjoy ourselves, haven't we?
Now, well, mate, the point is you were famous on radio in Brisbane, even more famous on radio in Melbourne, the voice of Countdown. You've been in Hollywood. You know all about movies and music and a whole lot of people. What do you think about the last 12 months? We've lost a couple of really, standout people. We always do every year. But when it comes to movies and music, what stood out from your point of view?
Well, the Golden Globes are happening in the next 12 hours at the Beverly Hilton on Wilshire Boulevard, so we'll get a good indication on how the movies are going. I mean, Avatar 2 is up for everything. I think Elvis, it's been nominated 3 times. Baz Luhrmann for director, best movie, and also Austin Butler as Elvis, who did a spectacular performance in that movie, all done on the Gold Coast. So, we've got to be proud with what we're producing here in Australia. We are world class. And also Cate Blanchett, she's up for an award as well. So we're doing good. And Margot Robbie, she's up for a Best Actress award. So, we're starting to get back to where we were before the pandemic, which is fantastic.
Well, look, it is. I think Margot Robbie's terrific. Gold Coast Girl made good, and I agree. I think the Elvis movie was just brilliant and probably the best thing that Luhrmann's made. But it reminds us that Elvis would have been 88 this month if he was still around. I mean, we're still all shook up by this bloke. We're never going to lose that iconic Elvis, even though it's been so long since he passed. It's extraordinary how there's a great deal of longevity in the King of rock and roll.
Well, with this movie now, his record sales have now gone through the roof. He's rejuvenated Graceland, so there's new interest in Graceland and Sun Records, and it's a whole industry now. So it's people are looking at longevity, but yes, Elvis has been repackaged.
Yeah, indeed. And Gavin, I mean, the thing that gets me is that we're talking about icons of the past that still seem to be icons today. But gee, a lot of people in the entertainment world seem to forget it. It's actually about entertainment. It's not about the virtue they want to signal. They've actually forgotten it's about keeping people entertained, enthralled and interested.
It's all about bums on seats, Gary. That's all it is.
It should be. That's exactly right. Speaking about bums on seats, bloke who always packed out the stadium has had a very tough last 12 months, and our thoughts are always with John Farnham. We're never going to hear him sing again. That voice, I guess, is never going to be heard publicly, but he had a hit record in the 60s, records in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the noughties. I mean, this guy has been an amazing contributor to Australian entertainment for so long. Have you heard how he is at the moment? I know he's resting at home.
Yeah, look, the family's keeping it quiet, and so they should. But when I came back from the States, I started up the Gavin Wood Countdown podcast, and I rang our dear friend Glenn Wheatley, and I said, "Oh, look, I'd love to get John Farnham to do, a podcast, being an old mate." And he said, "No, you won't get him. He feels as though he's done enough." And quite rightly so. John's been everywhere for 40 years, 50 years, and it's about, he was retired before the cancer and all of that. And all I can say is good luck to John, good luck to the family, and may he retire and enjoy the rest of his days on this earth.
Yeah, extraordinary bloke. I mean, I remember getting his autograph for my little sister, Gavin, in 1974 at the Brisbane exhibition, and it was so long ago he signed it Johnny Farnham. So there you go. Just go figure that out. And my sister ended up working with him years later. So speaking about legends, our mate Molly has a legendary birthday coming up on the 29th of this month. He's up for his OBE. He's over bloody 80. He's going to be 80. Unbelievable.
I know. Who would ever think that Molly would get to 80 with the destructive lifestyle that he's had over the years? I mean, he really pushed the pale too much. Even all of us used to sit back and go, oh, there goes Molly again. I hope he survives this one. And he did. And he always did. He's a wonderful character, great mate. And he is well loved by everybody because, you know, he pushed Australian music as much as he can. He's a lovable character, and I do a Saturday night show during the football break with Simon Owens on 3AW. We do an hour between 8 and 9, and on the 28th, the Saturday night, the night before, we're going to do a special dedication between 8 and 11 and get all Molly's mates on the air and talk about his influence and what he did for all their careers, because all these guys like Ross Wilson, you know, Russell Morris, they're still going around, and it was because of Molly and the push that Molly did for Australian acts. So he's a great mate of mine. I wish him well. I've seen him just recently. He's going well. He slowed up just a little bit, but he's still sharp as a tack, and he's still busy. He's still working on projects. You know, he's like Iggy Pop, still doing it.
It's amazing when you think, 23, 24, the stuff he was doing with the Beatles, and on from there, he put Australian music on so many of the maps of the world, as did you, Gavin. Great to have you on the program. Appreciate your time. And do us all a favour, wish Molly a happy birthday later in the month. Okay, simple. Good on you, Gavin Wood.
I certainly will, Gary. Thanks.